How to become a real estate agent without a degree. So many people think that they need a master's degree or a PhD or all of this education in order to become a real estate agent. Well, in this episode, I'm going to share with you the truth on how you can actually become a real estate agent and how you can do it very quickly. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
In this episode, I'm going to share with you a simple step-by-step process on how you can get licensed as a real estate agent in your state. I'm going to also share with you my secret on how I was able to become a real estate agent in multiple states. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you how to make a lot of money as a real estate agent with or without a college degree. Real estate agent is an amazing career because you are basically self-employed. Being self-employed allows you to kind of own your time, decide what type of clients you want to work with, when you want to work, and you actually get to increase your income because you can work as little or as much as you want. When you work for someone else, which is what I used to do, you may be capped with your income. Maybe they give you a salary and they give you a bonus, or if you want to make more money, you have to work overtime and you have to work more hours or even get a second job. But as a real estate agent, you literally could sell more houses, or you could sell more expensive houses and get bigger commissions. In fact, as a real estate agent, not only can you sell houses, you literally can sell commercial real estate, or you can sell businesses. You can actually be a real estate agent that doesn't sell houses at all. You can strictly do businesses or sell commercial real estate and never ever sell homes or go into driving around people in their car. It opens up so many different opportunities for you to create the career that you want and to work with the clients and the types of real estate that you want to do. I have enjoyed being a real estate agent since 2006. I literally got my license when I was in my early 20s. I've been able to invest in real estate using my license, and I've been able to make tons of money real estate investing and working as a commissioned real estate agent. And now today, I'm actually a licensed real estate broker in the state of Florida. So let me tell you exactly how you can get this done and how you can make tons of money as a real estate agent. So pretty much in every state, to become a real estate agent, you do not need a college degree. I actually looked it up. In every single state, it does not require a college degree in any state to become a real estate agent. You do need to have a high school diploma or a GED, a high school equivalency, in almost every state. This is a requirement in almost every single state because they do want you to have some education, because you will have to take some different tests. You will need to be literate, meaning that you can read and write, because you are working with the general public and advising them on a very big investment, probably the biggest investment that they may be making in their entire life. So they want to make sure that you do at least have a basic high school education or the equivalent to it. The next thing that you have to have in almost every single state is a social security number and be a U.S. citizen. Yes, in some states they do actually let you be a permanent resident alien, meaning have a green card. That is okay as well. But again, being a U.S. citizen, having that social security number, and being someone that is here legally in the United States is also a requirement. And last but not least, you will need a clean criminal history. So in almost every single state, you cannot have any major felonies. You cannot have just recently got out of prison or things like that. I often get this question as to whether you can be a real estate agent and be a felon. And it does appear that in some states that is allowed, but in some states that may actually bar you from being a real estate agent. Because in every single state, in order to take the state exam, you will have to do a fingerprinting and get your information entered into a national database. This again is because you are working with the general public. You will be going into people's homes. You may be alone in the car with them. So it is really important that you don't have a criminal history, especially a criminal history that involves violence or crimes of that nature, and especially financial crimes as well. So basically, if you maybe have just some minor things, you'll probably be okay, but any type of major misdemeanor or major felony is probably going to stop you from being a real estate agent. But let's get into the fun things, because if you have those three things going for you, again, U.S. citizen, high school diploma, and a social security number, then you are on your way to being a real estate agent. So the first thing that you will need to do is go to real estate school. Every single state has a requirement that you will need to go and get pre-licensure education, meaning before you get your license, you have to do this education. Now, every single state has different amounts of hours. In Texas, maybe it's 72 hours. In Florida, it's 63 hours. In Virginia, it may be 97 hours. Like, again, every single state has a certain amount of hours that you need to take in this course. However, in almost every single state, you can do this course online. So going to real estate school is not a difficult thing, and it's not very expensive. In most cases, you can finish real estate school in less than 2 weeks. I literally have known students that have been able to blow through the entire course in just 1 week by studying and just going straight through it every single day. And again, every single state has a different number of hours that you have to do. But again, in most cases, it's less than 80 hours of education that you need to do in order to get your real estate license and pass the course. The second thing that you're going to have to do, of course, is pass the exam. So once you finish the pre-licensure course, you will then have an exam at the end of the course that you have to pass. In most cases, they will give you up to 2 chances before you have to retake the entire course again. So it's very important that you make sure that you pass this exam, but I have known people that have been able to pass this exam really easily. The exam for your class usually is not that difficult. It usually is just a summary of all of the different education that you learned during the course. And again, you're usually taking it on a computer by yourself at your home, so you can kind of take your time, and they usually give you lots of time in order to do the exam for real estate school. Number 3, you are going to have to pass the state exam. Now, once you have finished real estate school and you've passed the exam, you are almost there. You're just going to then have to get your fingerprinting done. That criminal background check, like I said, is going to have to be done, and then you can sit for what's called the state exam. Again, every single state will require you for you to pass this exam unless you have a degree in real estate. In some states, if you have a college degree, a 4-year degree, a bachelor's degree from an accredited university in real estate, in many cases you do not have to do the real estate school. They will let you just sit for the exam. But if you don't have this specific college degree, then you will have to take the real estate course and then pass the state exam. But if you have the degree, again, you can skip the real estate school and just jump right to the state exam. Now, let me warn you, I have passed this exam in 3 different states, and I can tell you unequivocally, it is not very easy. It's not the hardest thing in the world. I'm not going to say it's rocket science or, physics or chemistry or nothing to that effect, but it is not something that you are going to just be able to breeze through or that you can just come off the street and pass. The exam usually takes 2 to 3 hours, and in many cases, you may fail the test the first time that you take it. I have had so many students that have gotten discouraged because they did not pass the exam, the state exam, the first time, and they realized that the state exam was harder than the real estate school exam. In almost every scenario, this is going to be the truth. The state exam is going to be harder than the real estate school exam. As I mentioned before, the real estate school exam is really just a summary of the course, but the state exam will ask you real questions, and it will have usually a lot more math. They will ask you questions about how to figure the interest or mortgage payments and just give you a few numbers. They may ask you how to figure out the seller credits or the lender credits that from buying from a home purchase. So you will have to brush up on your math skills, not just your memorization of the different laws. However, most people will pass the exam. Again, you can take the exam over and over again. I literally know of people that have taken the exam 6 different times before they passed it, and it only costs about $30 or $40 to retake the exam. I myself, Noelle Randall, have failed the exam before and had to take it again. So don't get discouraged if you don't pass the exam the first time. You can take it again. And once you fail the exam, they literally will tell you what sections you didn't pass on so you can study that particular part and then go back and take the exam again, and that is usually how you will pass. I have a huge favor to ask of you. Only 36% of all the people watching my videos are actually subscribed to my channel, and my goal is to get to 50%. You can help me and this channel so much by subscribing to this channel and making sure that you click that little notification bell so you do not miss any of this content that I am bringing to you every single weekday. I am able to hire the best people to do research for me and help me with my videos just by you subscribing. So the more people that I have subscribed, the more I can deliver great information to you. Please help me by subscribing to this channel right now, because I want to make sure that you have all of the tools, all of the resources, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle. To your success.